Steve Bowers welcoming you to Front Row, our look at education in the Jackson-Madison County school system here at E+ TV6. We are joined by Ginger Carver, and we'll be joined by a lot of guests as we take a look at career technology education today. All right, so a great overview coming up and an insight into what's happening at the high school level in the Jackson-Madison County school system that is on the way. Before we get into all of that, we did have wind damage at Tigard. Was that the only campus in that storm right at the end of May, going into June? And so what has happened out there? I know we had to reschedule some.
We did. We had to move summer school that was scheduled for out there. We moved it to Northeast Middle. So now they're continuing work to repair that damage. They expect it to be ready for classes in August.
Okay. All right. So how extensive was it?
It didn't damage any of the offices or anything. I think mostly just flooring and, of course, the roof and things. I'm not sure how many classrooms that it did damage.
Okay, but they'll be ready then for this fall.
That's what that
fall
plan
comes
is.
Early. Fall comes in July. That's right. Teachers are back early. It's a pretty amazing thing. It was a very deceptive storm system. There were no tornado warnings out, and it's confirmed now 80-mile-per-hour winds, and we certainly felt it with the Jackson Energy Authority systems. And so it was a challenging night, May 30th going into May 31st. So that has been rerouted then with the rescheduling from Tigard to Northeast Middle, but that's taken care of. When we come back, we're going to go through some of the things happening this summer and some things that we look forward to with fall, and then we'll talk to Curtis Gillespie and get it started concerning career technology education in the Jackson-Madison County school system. This is Front Row at E+ TV6.
Jackson, Tennessee is where baseball players, beauty queens, heroes, and legends are all connected. When country connected with the blues in Jackson, the sound was heard around the world. Jackson is not just one attraction, it's a whole package. When visitors come to Jackson for sports or a conference, they find there's something for the whole family. Great places to eat, great places to shop, fun things to do, and interesting things to learn. So spread the word. Tell your friends and family to visit Jackson. It all connects here.
Whether you run your business from home, at the office across town, or from multiple locations, managing the services you need is easy with Jackson Energy Authority. If you need cable in your lobby, conference room, or dining area, internet with the speeds for any application, or telephone to keep your team connected, ask about E+ broadband services for your business. Call Jackson Energy Authority, 422-7500.
Now it's time for This Week in Bad Stats.
Bad stats?
Horrible stats. Here goes. 132.
That's how many batters struck out 4 times in one game last season.
Wow, very good. Here's a tough one, though. 3 and 4.
No idea.
That's how many kids witness bullying. 3 out of 4.
That's not a good stat.
No, it's not, but it can change. Kids want to help, but they don't know how. Visit stopbullying.gov and give them the tools they need to help prevent bullying.
There are plenty of safe ways kids can help at stopbullying.gov.
Welcome back to Front Row, our look at education in the Jackson-Madison County school system, and we do that here at E+ TV6. We'll be talking to Curtis Gillespie and several people that are involved in career technology education during this program. Before we do, Ginger Carver is with us, and she is the marketing and communications specialist with the Jackson-Madison County school system. Have several things going on this summer. Summer school is one of those.
We have summer school.
I've been out of school 5 decades or right at it, so you know, all I remember about summer school is I wanted to avoid it as much as possible. But what happens in summer school now?
When I was not a participant in that either, so I'm not real sure. I know the one that was damaged at Tigard, they had special ed and middle school.
I mean, there's some educational processes that go on year round. Okay, here.
And I'm sure this is for some students who need to maybe catch up on a subject for the coming year in order to advance into their next grade. But this also happens for high school. And
one thing that I'm mindful of, because there was very limited special education when I was in school. People just weren't in school that had, and now with the commitment of public education, we educate every child to whatever their level of ability, trying to affirm their dignity and place in this life. And it's just a totally different role. Everything I know about education from experience is just absolutely obsolete, nonsensical, because it's just a different world, and so it's just interesting to see. In the midst of all this, then summer is also utilized for professional development.
Yes, our teachers some of them have not gone home yet for summer. There's a lot of professional development going on here, as well as some of them are traveling to different areas to work on that. A lot of training going on for Common Core, for technology professional development and a lot of different things.
I know the Star Center is doing a reading thing, application of technology to reading skills and assessments and other things. So there are a lot of things, I guess a lot of resources that are available during this time that are geared toward educators and all of this. Part of this is heading into a new emphasis on, or I say a new emphasis, maybe a renewed emphasis on pre-K education, with the realization that not every child by any means is in the public school pre-K programs or whatever. And so there are a lot of other people that have access to children in pre-K settings. So what's happening here?
Well, we're trying to make sure that the parents know and that our private daycare centers know what our children need to be ready for when they do enter pre-K and kindergarten. So they're going to be having a private child care professionals workshop on June the 15th at the central office. If anyone's interested in that, they can contact the central office at 664-2500 or go to our website. We'll have information up there as well. It doesn't cost anything. This is a free workshop. We would like to have pre-registration if possible, just to know how many are going to be attending. But I looked at the checklist myself the other day. There's a lot of stuff on there.
Is it an all-day or half day? Or
half a day, I believe, like 8 to noon.
8 to noon,
like
so there's no charge for this?
No charge.
All right, so this is designed for people that are providing child care or daycare or whatever.
So it will help them to be
what
able
age
to...
should, like 2, 3 to 5, that kind of 3 to 5 type of thing?
Something in that area, just to help them know what they should be including in their curriculum, so that children can, and a lot of it's, maybe knowing their colors, knowing their numbers, but there's a lot of information that needs to go into pre-K and kindergarten so that they can be prepared for the Common Core that's coming up in the coming years.
Wow, it's just so different.
Yes.
I didn't start school at 6 and a half, and there was no kindergarten in Alabama those days, unless you went to a
I didn't go to kindergarten either, so.
Which I didn't, and I didn't know my ABCs either. I didn't, I played till I was 6 and a half, apparently. And so,
But they've got to be ready.
So they got to be ready. That's a whole different business. And so 664-2500 if you work with children in a pre-kindergarten setting, or go to jmcss.org and you can register for that, and no fee for this.
No fee.
But about half day on June the 15th at the central office. One thing that we have been recognized for and have excelled in a really unique way, I guess, is in health emphasis within the Jackson-Madison County school system. Thanks to Annette Wilson, my favorite nemesis in life, who chastises me every time we're together on how I look and the condition I'm in or not in or whatever. But it is extraordinary, the recognition and the development has been given out to the Jackson-Madison County school system, and how seriously the schools are beginning to take this.
It is, and just recently we were awarded 12 new schools were given silver and bronze level awards from the Alliance for a Healthier Generation. This was back in May, so that gives us 14 schools within our district. What I thought was interesting was that there are only 16 in the state of Tennessee that were given these awards, and 14 were from Jackson-Madison County. So Annette's doing some good work.
That means that Annette is a unique person.
She's doing some good work over there, and so are our schools.
Most other communities would run her out on a rail by now. No, she's done excellent work. And if you look at type 2 diabetes and other health challenges that are beginning to surface there, we know that we've got real challenges. And this system has made a significant step, and that is the Alliance for Healthy Generations.
And it's not just for our students. This is for staff.
For staff, faculty, and everybody else. For all of us. It's a very, very important thing. When we come back, we're going to focus on career technology education, and we'll talk to Curtis Gillespie, front row at E+ TV6.
What do parents in school have to do to help curb gang activity? Well, the parents in the schools play a major part in it because they are the ones that's really supposed to affirm the children, tell the children who they really are and what they have a right to and what they can be out of life, instead of letting other individuals play the parent part.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson of the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Over my career, I've been asked what's the most difficult part about being a state trooper. That's easy. The hardest part about being a state trooper is going to someone's house and telling the people there that someone they love is never ever coming home because of a senseless, preventable traffic crash. In Tennessee, every year, way too many lives are lost by drinking and driving, texting and driving, and not wearing your seatbelt. Please don't make me tell your loved ones that you're not coming home.
Welcome back to Front Row at E+ TV6 as we take a look at career technology education, and we'll start with Curtis Gillespie, who directs all of this for the Jackson-Madison County school system. As I was talking, I've been out of school nearly 5 decades, and let me go through the overview, all right? When I was in school, home ec, shop, or you did the program where you left school for a half day and went to work somewhere else.
Totally.
That was it. Okay. I take it that it's different.
It's changed an awful lot.
Okay,
since Steve. It's changed an awful lot.
All right, so we have how many teachers involved in this?
Right now, at the high school level, I have 48 high school teachers, and they're working in 13 career clusters that are national career clusters, and we have 34 different programs of study within our high schools. Okay. And that range goes from Northside High School, Southside High School, Jackson Central Mary Academy of Medical Technology, and Liberty Technology Magnet High School.
Okay. And so each one of them will have different areas of emphasis? Are there some that are the same at all campuses? Or?
I have overlapping programs at certain campuses, like my automotive programs. I have automotive at Liberty, Southside, and Northside. Okay. But I only have collision repair at 2 of those, Southside and Northside High School. Okay. But there's also those that have specialists, like we got Greg Hammond's going to talk today. Media broadcasting is only at Southside. Okay. We have manufacturing at 2, Liberty Technology, and also at Northside High School. And of course, we fully transitioned to JCM, so now all our health science teachers, all our health science academies are all located at Jackson Central Mary Academy of Medical Technology at this time. Okay. So they are fully transitioned to there.
All right. So how much flex then do I have, Curtis, if I got a child that wants to go into, if they want to go into media with Greg, can they move there from any school, or is it still zoned restrictions?
Well, we do have the zones, but we also have the school choice in place at this point. Now? So with the school choice, if they put it in, if there's an opening and a slot available, they can go to that school.
So I've got some flex in if my child has got a particular area of interest. When did this start changing, Curtis? I mean, because this is just a totally different thing with I mean, there were schools that had ag programs for a long time in counties, and I didn't attend a school that had an ag program, but this is a real development then.
Well, when I look at this, it's changed a lot since I was in school. It's been a number of years ago. But now it's gone from what everybody thought was a typical shop. 58% of my students right now are going on to college of the career and tech education, because it's a much more technical world out there now, and these guys have to be prepared. It's not, when they say college and career ready, it's not the same as it used to be. They still need the math, the science, the background. These are very technical courses, and it's changed because the workforce has changed.
All right, so it's not necessarily then I'm going to go through high school, walk out there and go to work. In some cases it will be, but in some cases I'm going out there and then I'm positioned then, I've got some base skills, but I'm going to go ahead and continue my education.
Well, one of these things, we say continue education, it doesn't mean a 4-year degree and a bachelor's degree, it's just continuing education, because they're either going to get a certificate, an industry certification, or they're going to go to technology centers or community college. They need to be prepared for further learning for the rest of their life, because these companies are changing. It's an ever-changing economy. We're not competing nationally or locally now. We're competing internationally. It's a whole different economy now.
Are people much more open to this? I know at one time it was kind of like, well, you go the career track if you don't have quite what it takes to get a college education. I take it that that's not what we're looking at here.
It's changed. These students have to be just as prepared as if they were going to college now. It's a whole different ballgame.
It's a whole different business. And I guess their career opportunities are very good.
Oh, there are definitely career opportunities. As a matter of fact, looking at the job market right now, there are jobs and manufacturers that need employers. There's a whole bunch of openings, but we don't have the skilled trade. I use an example where they may get a Bachelor of Arts. They may have a degree, but they can't get a job because they don't have the skill sets that are needed. You have to go to school and get a skill set to get a job. Because the employers don't want something just a degree. They want something where you can be productive for them to make money.
So they are looking for specific skill sets in addition to that.
In manufacturing, if they're a welder, they got a job automatically.
Okay. The people we're going to meet today, what will we be finding out in this program today?
Well, the programs I've got, one of my goals is to make sure that they have a high school diploma plus something, either being an industry certification or a dual enrollment, dual credit, or something that's going to lead them to the next level. And the people I brought in this morning, I've got a representation from each school with the exception of JCM. So I wasn't able to get the health science teachers to come in. But I have the manufacturing is represented at both Northside and Southside, or Northside and Liberty, excuse me. We've got the manufacturing program there, and we also got the pre-engineering program at Northside High School. I've got the ag program. In West Tennessee, ag is a big, business in here, and we've got an outstanding program. The Farm to Trade program been going on, been recognized nationally as well as statewide. So I got Ms. Krause coming in to speak about that. Mr. Pearson from Liberty is going to talk about the manufacturing program he's got there. I've got Jeff Replogle talking about Project Lead the Way, and also it's really a pre-engineering course and where it leads for students, preparing them to go into engineering. That's at Northside High School. And I got media broadcasting, which is really an up-and-coming industry right now. It's just growing leaps and bounds, because years ago, we didn't find out what was going on in the wars and everything else because they didn't have the media. Now we know it right now. It's instant gratification. So Greg's going to talk about that program at Southside.
Okay. Would you say there are 13 national clusters? Who looks at that or sets those up then?
Actually, there are 16 national clusters. We actually only have 13 that we've got something covered in. But that is actually a nationally recognized 16 clusters by the Department of Education nationally. And that was something all the states that got together, and industry and manufacturing got together, and that's the ones they're recognizing.
This is what they're looking for then?
What they're looking for. We're talking about manufacturing, human services, we're talking about hospitality and tourism, agriculture, all those main subject matters. And then there's programs of study that lead to special areas where they want to go work. In those program areas. Like criminal justice is one of those.
All right. So this starts in the night. Are these students in middle school then looking at this, making decisions about this? I mean, you know.
We have had an introductory course with the technology courses at the middle school, but we also have teen living there. But we don't have a lot. We have a big program. We're trying to introduce it from the high schools, go down and introduce it to the 8th graders. And that's a key initiative to make sure they can show them what's coming, because they have to make a decision, because they go into a program of study, and they're going to usually be in that for 4 years at the high school level. Because a concentrator consists of 3 classes in a certain program area, and a lot of these programs of study go on with 4 or 5 classes leading to post-secondary education. And I'm proud to say that as of last year on our report card, they had a 100% graduation rate for those students that were a concentrator in a program area. So if they get in there and get involved, they're engaged, they're going to graduate. But they have to be involved. And these teachers become more than just a teacher. They become a counselor, a mentor to these students. They have them for 3 or 4 classes through their career.
Career technology education is a whole different business.
It certainly is.
We're going to find out about that. Curtis, good to see you.
Good to see you again.
Appreciate what you're doing and appreciate this time to talk with you. We're going to find out some of the details of this as we move through this program. Stay with us. This is Front Row, our look at education in the Jackson-Madison County School System on E+ TV 6.
Jackson Police, what do they do? And why do they do what they do? E+ TV 6 Roll Call, an update on the people and the work of the Jackson Police Department. A new show every 2 weeks. What they do and what we can do to make a difference in Jackson. Roll Call now includes you, exclusively on E+ TV 6.
You voted Jackson Energy Authority the best cable and internet provider in the Jackson Sun Reader's Choice Award. We are honored. We say thank you. It's our goal to continue providing the best service in our community. If you haven't switched, give us a try. Cable, internet, telephone, everything on your one JEA bill, plus local customer service. No one else has this amazing value. Call today to get all your services from Jackson Energy Authority.
The Jackson Sun is now available on every device you carry or don't carry. All things West Tennessee in all media 24/7. Subscribe now for full access.
Welcome back to Front Row, our look at education in the Jackson-Madison County School System. In this program today, we're focused on career technology education that is much more diverse than anything that I ever experienced when I was in school. Of course, that goes back too many decades to count. I was very young. My parents were young. My grandparents were young. So I had great-grandparents that I knew. And I remember my great-grandfather, if a man knew how to plow a straight row and he had 30 acres of land, that was about all he was going to need in this life. And education was not something he needed. Right? So my grandfather got to go through the 8th grade, and then he got pulled out to work full-time on the farm. And I think about that now, and I take this ag business and all this other stuff that's happening out here as a whole different thing today. Well, in fact, I know it is, and so that's where we come in.
It definitely is.
Okay.
It's so much more technology today.
And agriculture has become so diversified. I know from going to the just the history of our Ag Research Center here, where they used to raise livestock and all these other things and do exclusively row crops. They did everything from ornamentals to sage grass for something for fuel, biofuels, right? Switchgrass, all this stuff. They got all this stuff going on out there. So you walk out there now, and it's a totally different place than it was 25, 30 years ago. And it wasn't just to get a family by. Now it's big business out there.
It is big business.
It's a whole thing. So where do we pick up then in education in Jackson, Madison County? Teresa Krause, by the way, is with Liberty Technology Magnet High School, and your title out there is?
I'm an agriculture instructor.
Okay.
And also there's another instructor, Mr. Chuck Flowers, and so we cover kind of different programs of study. I do more of the plant. He does more of the animal program of study, which includes the pre-vet program and also the ag engineering.
All right. Now, Curtis was talking about, is it farm to trade, or what is this?
Okay, farm to trade is a partnership between the Jackson-Madison County School Systems Nutrition Department, with Susan Johnson is the director of it, and the Liberty Agriculture Department. And what we do, we raise vegetables to actually sell to our local school cafeterias. And then that money that we receive goes right back into our program to buy supplies to teach the students. So it's pretty much self-sustainable, and it's something that's been recognized at the national level. We won the Tennessee School Board Association Program of Excellence in Education this past year for 2012.
All right. There are ag programs at what schools then?
Okay, there's ag programs, of course, at Liberty. And at Northside and Southside. So we have 3 good ag programs in our
when
county.
students are going into this, Teresa, what are they looking to do, or is it just a myriad of things
Well,
out there now?
there's a lot because we are so diversified in ag now. Like I said, it's not just the crop production or row crop production, but it includes things like landscaping, landscape design, floral design, raising the ornamentals, and the ag engineering, and just so many more
things. So ag
things.
engineering would be what then?
That's actually, it starts out kind of the ag mechanics where you learn your basic skills in, say, plumbing and electrical and just building those type things, but with a focus on ag. But it goes into more in depth so that people that plan to go into secondary as far as in engineering. And there are things that, just has to do primarily with ag.
Is there stuff involved as far as animal husbandry?
There is.
So that's a whole nother
I know
area.
and I think it's at Northside and Southside too that have the pre-vet option. And on it, you actually start out in small animal care, how to take care of small animals, groom them. We have an excellent program where the public has been able to bring in like their dogs and have them groomed by our students. And it's a kind of wide-reaching. A lot of ones that plan to go to college to be veterinarians, they get their first taste of it in high school and develop those basic skills.
So students that are coming into this program then are looking to do what? Is there, I don't know what to simplify that. So some of them are going into areas that are going to require much more academic.
Right, they are. And some they'll have skills when they leave, high school to be able to do a lot of things. But as Mr. Gillespie said earlier, a lot of our students go on and receive further training, whether it be an associate's degree, or most of them go on and get a 4-year degree too.
And it could be in all kinds of areas.
Right.
Some people leave this and go into wildlife management and other things, I would think,
yes,
right? I mean,
actually, the forestry industry. In Tennessee, agriculture is a $2.8 billion industry. Cash receipts.
At what point then, if I've got a child coming up, and of course, like I said, this is high school work here, do I start trying to find out? I mean, if I'm saying I don't have any idea about any of this, right? And, my little guy might want to do some of this. I have no earthly idea. And so at what point do you start trying to guide or steer or talk to students about, looking at this?
Really in middle school, because they do have to kind of declare a path, when we call it pathways. And so, like in mine, it's a plant path area. So what we have a lot of times, we have nights that maybe middle school can come in, or
Right.
schedule some things so they can see the different academies and CTE academies and see what interests them. A lot of times it's followed up by parents actually coming to the school and taking a one-on-one tour, coming to us asking questions, and we try to get the information to these students.
Okay, well, and I guess there are differences then in the ag program at Liberty than at Northside and Southside. They all have their own nuances.
It is, and we have 3 really great programs in our community, which is, you don't always have that, and we have 3 strong programs. We focus a lot on the small animal care, and also on the hydroponics and raising the vegetables, but they also do similar things at Northside and Southside. I know that like the ag teacher at Southside is great on the landscaping part, and
so very. Is there a simple way for me to find out about all these? Go to the websites for the
You can
schools?
go to the websites, and you can actually go to the Tennessee Department of Education and put in CTE pathways, and they'll pull up and they'll take each one of the individual courses and will give you a description, and it has a lot of information on that state website.
Okay, great. Well, she's an award-winning teacher. It's really great to have this opportunity to visit with Teresa, and as we continue to explore what's going on with career and technology education. When we come back, we'll talk about manufacturing, and we'll do another shift, but it's a real pleasure to see you. Appreciate the photos and everything. It's good to have you with us. This is Front Row, our look at education in the Jackson-Madison County school system here at E+ TV6.
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
It starts with 1.
It starts with 1.
It starts with 1.
There is a way to stop bullying.
It starts with 1.
Be that one.
Welcome back to Front Row at E+ TV6, our look at education in the Jackson-Madison County school system. Our focus in the program today is career technology education, and we've got an overview from Curtis Gillespie. We've talked about ag education with Teresa Kraus. So if you're just joining us, I hope you can catch that on replay, because it sets up the fact that it's a whole new world in career technology education within public schools today. It's fascinating to learn about the different segments. Randy Pearson is with us. He is with Liberty Technology Magnet High School, and your area is manufacturing services, all right, which would seem to be could have had a V8 self-explanatory, needed obviously from looking at employers.
Well, yeah, but by the same token, it's a struggle sometimes to explain to parents that I'm not teaching students to put a widget in a box. It's not that type of manufacturing. It's all aspects of manufacturing.
Okay. Because manufacturing has totally changed.
Yes, sir, it has.
I mean, I saw when they brought the Volkswagen plant in, and Senator Alexander was talking about that, back when they first started recruiting automobile industry production in the state, and he as governor was wanting to do, he said, you're looking at 30,000, 40,000 jobs. Now you're looking at 2,500, right? Because it's robots, it's tech, it's a whole different type of business. Like I said, it's not somebody else doing that widget.
Right.
I got to be there to maintain the equipment.
Lean manufacturing, that's what it's all about.
All right, so what do we do then at the high school level then?
My program consists of several different areas. I touch on almost everything in manufacturing aspect. We cover electricity and electronics. We cover hydraulics and pneumatics. We have structural systems. We have CNC programming. I have a CNC lathe and a CNC mill where the students actually get to do the program. We have robotics. I also have AutoCAD, and that Mr. Gillespie spoke of earlier. That's my dual credit with Jackson State. Students, their third year in my class, will take an AutoCAD class.
What is AutoCAD?
It's designing with the computers. Instead of drawing on paper, we don't do that anymore. We don't even teach drawing on paper anymore. You draw with the computer. But they get a credit for my class, and they get a credit for Jackson State. So when they go on to Jackson State, they're one credit ahead.
Okay, so they've already got this taken care of. I would take it then when we talk about manufacturing, like I said, because that's a lingering impression that that there are going to be some parents that just say, well, I don't want my child working in a factory or what I aspire to more. From
Exactly,
my little one,
exactly. And that's something I struggle with when I talk to parents. But what I tell them is it's a lot of engineering. And I know not every student that goes through my class is going to be an engineer. I've had some go through there that have gone on to become engineers. But what I try to do is focus. If a student is very interested in CNC programming, for instance, then I'm going to try to direct them to the Tennessee Technology Center to get into CNC programming. Same with electronics, hydraulics. The McWhorter Center or TTC, they can continue that education there, and that's what I want to do.
Okay. So it's part of this, I guess, is selling this program.
Absolutely.
Okay, and making us understand. Because like I said, all my impressions, I get callers sometimes say, well, when I was in school, and I say, well, then if you're like me, that's totally irrelevant.
Yes,
that doesn't matter anymore because my experiences are totally different.
Everything's changed.
All right. So where will this go then? Are employers now much more in direct contact with education institutions to say, this is what I need. If you can produce this,
yes, sir,
they can go to work. Okay.
Workshops we go to, our PI partners are real good about it. They tell us we have advisory committees. Career Tech education teachers have advisory committees that help direct where we're going to take our program so that we can turn out students that are employable.
Okay.
You know, if you go to any of the industry here in town and say, here I am, I graduated from high school, here's my high school diploma, they're going to throw your application in the garbage. You've got to have something more than a high school education.
Because their complaint when you go to these meetings is we're not getting the people that we need.
Yes, sir.
Right? And you hear that. And so is this then a response to this, try to design this to start closing that gap?
That's correct. That's what we're doing. Yes,
okay. All right. So what do you look to then in the future as far as how do you, because I take it that this is changing then. Whatever you're doing 10 years ago, you know, teaching is not, well, I've got my study plan now and I'm good for the next 30 years.
That's true.
It can't be that way.
My classes are a lot of hands-on. My students work at modules and they go through the curriculum on a computer, which it's not like sitting in a regular classroom where you're opening your textbook and you're taking notes and all that. The computer's telling them what to do, but now I have 7 different modules, so we got 7 things going on at the same time. Computer's telling them what to do, they'll stop, they'll go to and do what the computer told them to do, then they'll go back, and at the end of that day, they take a test.
Okay.
So it's preparing them for industry because everything's changed. In high school, it's also changed in the industry. When you get to go to work in a manufacturing plant, it's not like it used to be where you, like I said, you take a widget, put it in a box. You have to be able to work on your assembly line.
Okay.
If you're working on that line and it goes down, you've got to know the pneumatics and the hydraulics and electricity and electronics to fix that, to get it back up.
Okay. And then they may walk in and say, we're going to redo the line.
Yes, sir. And you got to be able to do that.
And you got to be able to do that and follow it through. It's pretty fascinating.
I focus a lot on teamwork because in the industry now, it's team concept. So I try to set my class up as if it was manufacturing and we work with a team concept. And that's important too. I was fortunate enough when I started at Liberty to go through the faculty in the factory program at Delta Faucet, which is right across the street from me.
Okay.
That was a great experience. I learned a lot from them, and they've been real helpful.
Do they continue to have input into what you do?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that dialogue is going to continue.
Right.
How much is it changing for them then, Randy? I mean,
for industry?
Yeah, I mean, are they retooling every 4 or 5 years? I mean, is it just a different process?
Well, they have to keep up with supply and demand, and you know, just like Delta Faucet, for instance, now they've got the faucet where you touch it, it comes on, you touch it, it goes off.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Who would have thought?
Exactly.
Yeah. I was in Oman Arena the other night, you know, and there are no electronic bathroom fixtures in there, right? It's like, wow, you have to actually mash something right, to get this to work.
Right.
And I thought, and that was state-of-the-art building
yes,
when it was built.
Yes,
all right, so it's just that kind of world. What kind of students are attracted to this?
Well, I've had students that are every aspect, from the low-end students to valedictorians go through my class.
Okay.
And depending on what we focus on, they may go on to be an engineer, or we may get them at Tennessee Technology Center. I've had several students go into Tennessee Technology Center and go through their machining program and their CNC program, and they're working at plants like ARJ and places like that, making a good living.
Yeah, hey, it's great stuff. It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
This is Front Row, our look at education in the Jackson-Madison County School System. We'll continue this emphasis on career technology education. Coming up next, we will talk about Northside High School, and Jeff Replogle will be with us next on ePlus TV 6.
Hi, I'm Franny Smith, host of ePlus TV 6 cooking show At Home on the Range. Our show features some of Jackson's best cooks, regular folks just like you and me that enjoy home entertaining and sharing their culinary skills. Join us each week as our guests share favorite family recipes, tips for entertaining, and delicious fare from the natural gas kitchens at Kaufman's Home Furnishings and Appliances. Have fun with local folks who are going to help you feel more at home on the range.
Life in the Tennessee Valley has gone from this to this. Through rural electrification, public power, dams, World War II demand for aluminum necessitating more and more electricity, coal-fired steam plants, nuclear plants, natural gas generation. Because our demand went from this, through this, to this. What we take for granted took decades and millions of dollars to build. It takes billions to generate it each year. Electricity, a great resource, an addition and quality to life. Enjoy it, but use it wisely. A message from JEA Today.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Front Row here at ePlus TV 6, and this conversation is going on. I didn't realize we had competition among manufacturing robotics things here.
Yes.
Okay, so we were slam dunking Randy during the commercial break, and if you're just joining us, you'll have to go back and catch up on this. Jeff Replogle is with us as we continue a focus on career technology education and how diversified it has become, all-encompassing has become, if you look at it from Curtis Gillespie's viewpoint, trying to put all this together. But we have several national modules that in which we participate, 34 programs, 48 teachers involved in career technology education at the high school level in the Jackson-Madison County school system. Jeff Replogle is with us. He is from Northside High School. And so, Jeff, what is distinctive about the program at Northside?
Well, the program that's implemented at Northside is actually, it's called the Project Lead the Way Pre-Engineering Program.
Okay.
It's really to interest a lot of the students that know they want to go into engineering, and it actually gives them an opportunity to get some of the same education that they would start out as in college.
College, okay.
Yes.
All right, so what would that include then, Joe? What kind of classes are you teaching there?
Well, the first class is a design engineering, and
Okay.
it's 3D modeling.
Okay.
We use 3D modeling software. The second class is our principles of engineering, and it covers anywhere from mechanical engineering to electrical engineering to civil engineering. The third class is digital electronics, which is everything electronics. And then the fourth class I teach, of course, is VEX robotics.
Okay. I'm glad I sold my stock in those companies do blueprints and all that stuff. It's gone.
It's gone. I mean, everything's digital.
That made one good move in my life, getting out of that. What students are attracted to this when you talk to them? Who's going into
Again, like Randy, I have a variance of students. I've got some students that come in there that think they might want to be interested in engineering.
Not sure.
Not
get
sure.
Into it. Okay.
So, and in my classes, there's a huge amount of math and science and reading involved in it. The technology that we have, everything in the class it's sort of a lecture base, and then once we get done with the lecture, they will have their work to do as far as the calculations and stuff, and then we actually go to a lab and apply everything hands-on.
At what point do they pick this work up then? Are they getting into this as freshmen, or is it something that comes along later?
You can go into the design engineering as early as a freshman. Yes, sir.
Okay. And because if you're talking about math skills and other things, I don't know if they needed other math work at the same time or enhanced.
Sometimes it's a job teaching some of the math skills.
Because I can get into this and get over. So Project Lead the Way then is designed to clarify my interest or develop my interest in engineering.
Yes.
All right. Now, you were talking about robotics competition. I wasn't familiar with this. And so what is this? And how does it play into the work?
It's called the VEX Robotics Competition, and there's actually a state-level competition with Skills USA.
Okay.
The Liberty Magnet High School, Randy Pearson and I, both of us have the VEX Robotics program.
Okay.
And in turn, the students can come in, they go through the computerized system, they learn about the robot, they learn about mechanical aspects of the robot, they learn about electronic aspects of the robot. They actually get an opportunity to build a robot for a specific competition. It changes every year, and then go and compete in Chattanooga.
Okay, and so that process then does what for them? It gives them
an experience with robotics and robotics programming.
Okay. I may have to get Randy out here to get equal time, but you're saying that your team consistently pounds his, is that?
Well, yeah, and looks that way.
We have a closing segment coming with Ginger Carver. Randy may be back to talk about this. This then is, I mean, this has had to have developed just within the last few years, or it's intensified
It started
a lot.
out at JCM, and then we had to move the program to Northside.
Okay. Because
So,
JCM went
yes.
as a medical.
Yeah, it went medical. So,
okay.
so Curtis moved my program to Northside, and it's a fairly new program. Yes, we are still building the program. Okay. But I mean, it's attracted all students. I mean, I've got some ROTC students in my class that. One of the students, she come to me and she thanked me for the simple fact she actually learned in my classroom some of the questions and stuff that are on the ASVAB test to get into the military.
Okay, all right. So I guess one of the things, and I don't want to belabor this point, but like I said, when I was in school, if you went into career work, it was because you weren't going to make it academically and going into a college track. And my impression in all this is a totally different world.
This is a totally different beginning.
And much more open career opportunities, and then continue to develop, I guess, specifics that the specific skills that these students are going to be able to apply. So this is a fascinating thing. These competitions that have been going on how long, like in robotics and all these?
Skills USA has been around for years.
Okay. How long have we had teams then to start doing it? Relatively new for us?
The robotics, we've been doing it the past, 3-4 years now.
Has it proved to be a valuable application of this?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
The students love it. And I mean, there's actually, with Skills USA, you can go to skillsusa.org and look at all the different, we got the automotive. Anybody that's in the career and technical educations, there is a competition for every single field.
Okay. One of the things I wanted to mention, and Curtis had noticed this, the CTE, there's also a CTE link at the jmcss.org, the Jackson-Madison County School System.org website, so be sure to check that out as well if you want to find out more about what's going on in career technology education. When we come back, we're going to talk to Greg Hammond. He's in a whole different area, and that is media, and that's at Southside. It's good to see you. Appreciate the time very, very much, Jeff.
Thank you.
We're going to be right back. We're talking about career technology education, diverse as it is in the Jackson-Madison County School System. It's the discovery process today on this front row at ePlus.TV 6.
When you're making one of the largest financial decisions of your life, you need someone that is willing to spend time to help you understand the process.
No matter your experience level or your financial picture, you still need a caring, knowledgeable professional.
Community Bank and Churchill Mortgage are those professionals.
Our purpose is to deliver the highest standard of information, resources, and service.
Community Bank and Churchill Mortgage, a team you can count on.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome to Fairy Tale Acres, a beautiful land where witches, wolves, and giants lurk. The biggest danger, though, may be under the dirt, where wires, pipes, and cables dwell. The moral? Avoid a grim situation. Always call 811 before you dig.
Are you getting this, honey?
Oh, prime time. We are rolling.
All right, Mama's gonna bring it home. Mama's gonna bring it home. Okay.
Come on, watch this guy.
Oh, backwards!
Oh, don't. Okay.
It went into Bob and Carol's yard. Oh, no? Okay,
Yeah.
here it comes.
Oh, no!
Challenge your kids to be active and eat healthy.
All right, let's see what you can do. Let's go.
They might surprise you.
Let's go.
Search We Can for more ideas on how you and your kids can get healthy together.
Welcome back to Front Row at E+ TV6, our look at education in the Jackson-Madison County school system. We have invested this program in career technology education. If you're just joining us, hope you can catch this on replay because we've gotten an overview from Curtis Gillespie on all the different areas that are involved now in this and how many of them are applied in Jackson-Madison County schools. There are 48 faculty members at the high school level that are dealing with different aspects of career technology education. We've talked about the farm to trade program, manufacturing, pre-engineering, all the things. There's also a medical technology program, of course, at Jackson Central Mary, and Greg Hammond is with us. Among the things at Southside, and Southside has elements of many of these, auto and other things, so you can find out from the schools about this. But Greg has worked in media and has the media broadcast program. It's good to see you.
Likewise, Steve.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. All right, so how did this program start at Southside? And because it's the only one that has this, right?
From my understanding, the principal at the time, Mr. Jimmy Arnold, with school board members, just decided it would be a great program to have. And media being an up-and-coming industry, especially with the internet, I think the timing was right to add it.
I guess, media, when I look at it, go back to radio, television, newspaper, now it's a multifaceted thing. It's almost like talking to these folks in manufacturing. It's like it's just a whole different world and the procedures are different and everything else. So how do you put this together then? Because you had to start this from scratch.
Yes and no. There were standards for us to meet.
Okay.
So obviously, you look at the standards that are set by the state for broadcasting, and then you kind of go from there.
Okay.
What project can we do to meet this standard?
Okay.
And you kind of go from there.
So the program at Southside then is structured how? Your students do what in a day, or get into what areas?
Broadcasting.
Okay.
Pre-production, production, post-production.
All right.
We have an idea. It could be a commercial. It could be a public service announcement. It could be a reporter package. And we kind of go from there.
Okay. And so do they get into internet work as well then?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Well, from knowing the equipment to use to how to do an interview to editing, beginning to end, broadcasting, they learn to do that.
So what is the objective then of doing this at the high school level? What do you want to see happen in their life?
I think the objective is that if the student is interested in broadcasting, they go to Austin Peay or UT Martin or whatever university they want to go to. They go there and they're a better candidate than the other kids in the classroom. A lot of times, the projects that we do allow the kids to get experience that you wouldn't do until your sophomore or junior year of college. So I think that's fun and beneficial.
Are there students that do this just to improve their skills? I guess it's almost like taking a speech class, even though I may not be an orator or ever be a public speaker or whatever, but I want that to facilitate my development in any career I go into.
It's really a class for anyone. I can think of now, I have a student who went on to UT Martin to major in agriculture, but he was one of my best media students. Now, a lot of his media projects concern agriculture, but it's if your niche is broadcasting, you can focus on that. But if your niche is something else, well, all your video projects are about that niche. So we've had students that were interested in nursing, so they do one-on-one interviews with real nurses. Or agriculture, you go to Miss Perry at Southside and you do videos about the agriculture class. So it's really for any student.
So how is this utilized then? Greg Hammond with us, and he teaches media and broadcast at Southside High School. How is that utilized within the school day? I know that if I go to a Board of Education meeting, your students have prepared an overview of a different campus.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so are there other things happening that have contributes to exposure for everybody to the different schools? Are there things that are happening at Southside that are unique because you're there and this program is there?
Well, we do a show every Friday. We call it Hawk TV. And so the students spend a whole week interviewing teachers and students about different things around the school. So you think about a news program on a professional level, we do that at the high school. Okay. And we've also produced videos for the school board, or we've produced videos for the career and technical leaders at the state level, and we've also produced videos for it was the physical science and Miss Annette Wilson, the Alliance for Health.
Okay.
We put a video together, and it was actually one of the videos that was picked to run on the Alliance for Health website. So that was very exciting.
So they're getting direct experience then. This show that's done each week, is it 30 minutes or?
It's a 10-minute program.
10-minute program.
It runs.
Do they show
if
it
our timing's right, it's 10 minutes.
Do they show it then at the school?
Yes, sir. We show it at the school, closed circuit, and we also put it on the internet.
Okay.
We put it on schooltube.com. We also put it on YouTube, and we have links on our website.
Okay. All right. How do you adapt then? One of the things, just like with people in manufacturing, agriculture, it's like, okay, I've got all my ducks in a row. I got everything figured out. My curriculum is perfect. And then the world to which I'm sending these students changes, and it's changing out there. And I've seen tremendous reductions, for example, like in the radio broadcast, in the number of personnel with satellites and computers and everything else. You don't need as many people as you used to. Television certainly has changed. Internet's opening up, I guess, new opportunities. Cable's up. How do you assess what's going on in the industry to help put this together?
Well, first of all our CTE programs have advisory committees.
Okay.
So I'm in constant contact with professionals here in Jackson, whether it be in TV, newspaper, radio. Some of our students have done work for the local newspaper, local
So they get intern opportunities then?
Yes, sir.
As a result of this, okay.
And field trip opportunities. And so we're constantly on a weekly, on a monthly, on a yearly basis finding out how the media industry is changing. But it also points to the importance of being a well-rounded individual. Doesn't matter what focus you're going into.
Okay.
You want to be a good employer. So you want to be a good employee. So yes, the industry is always changing, and you want to be the best employee you can be.
I have felt that if you've got the skill set, then you can adapt to the new technology out there.
Yeah, and you know, some people get into media because they want to be on TV. But in order to survive in the new world, you got to be able to shoot your own video, edit your own video, and be in front of the camera.
There was one of the major, Chicago Tribune.
They fired
all their photographers. Fired all their photographers.
Now they're going to iPhone technology.
And I mean, these were Pulitzer Prize-winning photographers that have built careers. And it's like, I'm sending a reporter out with a little phone and he's going to take the photos.
Yeah, one of the ways the business is changing is convergence. They want everyone to be able to do everything.
All right. It's good to see you.
Likewise.
Appreciate it very much. Greg Hammond with us as we have talked about career technology education in the Jackson-Madison County school system. He is the TV media broadcast professional at Southside High School. If you want to know more about these programs, CTE is the link, Jackson-Madison County School System, jmcss.org. We'll come back with Ginger Carver and wrap this up, and our thanks to Curtis and everyone that has been with us. We'll be right back as we continue our look at education. This is Front Row at E+ TV 6.
Hey guys, thanks for coming.
Are we in trouble?
No, you're not in trouble. I just want to set some ground rules.
Like what?
Well, remember last week when you hit Vinny in the head with the shovel?
I do not recall that.
Of course not. Well, it was pretty graphic. Too graphic for the kids. So I'm gonna have to block you.
You know, I got to make this up to you. This is Vinny's watch, and I want you to have it. You deserve it.
Thank you. That's really not necessary.
No. Come here.
Ready to serve up your favorite mouth-watering meal? Start with a grill that works as hard as you do, designed to perform, and built to last, that delivers on its promises. A dependable, durable gas grill with Jackson Energy Authority gas service. Visit the Customer Center in the columns to learn more about Broilmaster Premium Gas Grills. You can connect to your JEA gas service.
JSEAL, Jackson Center for Independent Living, is a community-based, non-residential, consumer-controlled program of services designed to enable persons with disabilities to achieve maximum independence and fully participate in all aspects of their lives. JSEAL serves people of all ages throughout West Tennessee. For more information, call 731-668-2211. JSEAL's goal is to enhance independence and positive change for all people with disabilities.
Welcome back to Front Row, our look at education in the Jackson-Madison County school system. I want to thank Curtis Gillespie, who coordinates the Career Technology Education program in this system, Teresa Kraus for being with us from Liberty and the Farm to Trade program. In fact, all of that. And just because we mentioned one school, there are programs on multiple campuses in these areas. Manufacturing, Randy Pearson with us from Liberty, Jeff Replogle from Northside, and Greg Hammond from Southside. Greg's got a unique program in the sense that he is the one media broadcast program, but a lot of these programs are offered at different campuses. Go to CTE at jmcss.org to get information on that. And we'll give you a reaction, okay, in this. I think that unless we're directly involved in public education, we all have impressions of public education that come from maybe our own experiences in school or whatever, when our children or whatever were in school. I think many of us just don't know what's happening. Is that, I mean, you work in it now every day.
And I'm learning every day.
Okay, because you get to visit all the campuses and everything. There's 27 campuses out here, and when I look at this, like I said, one thing that stands out to me is just how diverse this is, how detailed this is, which is a different thing than I remember from my educational experience, and then the fact that everybody goes to school, and that's not comparable to the experience I had.
Well, the students now have such a unique opportunity. They probably don't realize, but you know, when we were in school a few years ago, everybody did basically the same track.
Right, yeah.
Now they have so many choices, and they get exposed to so many different things. You can actually know what you're interested in.
It also necessitates some decision making much earlier.
Yes.
Doesn't it? I mean, if I'm really going to capitalize on this, I need to make some decisions earlier than I would ever have been expected to. Or, you know, I mean, I go back to the days when if you had even classic liberal arts colleges, as Lambeth was at one time, or that you've got with Sewanee or some of these others, you know, you make up your mind about what you're going to do with your life after you get your classic liberal arts four-year education. Then I'll pick a major, and then I'll decide what I'm going to do on the graduate level. This is a whole different business today.
It is. And how many times have we started? I know I have many friends who started college and halfway through decided this is not what I want to do and have to change their total focus. A lot of that can take place in middle and high school.
Well, I majored in religion, minored in Greek, and it's got specific direct application to what I'm doing today. But it is fascinating to get this insight. And I appreciate you putting this together very much. Now, thanks to Curtis and Teresa, Randy and Jeff and Greg for doing this with us today. One thing we do want to remind people of before we get away, that there is a real emphasis on within this community, preparation of children when they get to school. And there's a session coming up June 15th. I know that will date us somewhat as we show this program later in the month of June, but June 15th, if you're involved in working with children in a child care setting or whatever that are pre-K, that this is a session that is designed to help orient you to what is expected of children when they get to kindergarten.
Correct.
Because public school system is going to pick them up, ready or not.
We want them to know specific things when they come in order for them to be ready.
Is this the first time the system has done this, or is
I believe
this
so.
Okay? So this is a whole new effort to try to pull everybody into the same page in this community, so that we're all working together to get the children ready. So that's not just saying. If you want to register for that, you go to jmcss.org or 664-2500, and there is no fee.
No fee, just
half day
like pre-registration if we can.
On June the 15th. Okay, and that, I guess, is again a reflection of this process starts much earlier.
It does. Our times are changing. You can't go into kindergarten not knowing your ABCs and
where you live. You're going to be way behind.
That's right.
Okay, it's going to be a challenge for these students. So this is a good effort. Okay, all right. We also had mentioned earlier, we do want that the Alliance for a Healthier Generation is recognized 12 schools this year, 14 schools total in the Jackson-Madison County school system for the health initiatives, and out of 16 in the state of Tennessee, 14 have come from the Jackson-Madison County school system, which means not only that Annette Wilson and all the folks that are involved in that have stepped up, but these schools on their own initiative, I think once they have seen the effects on their campus and everything else, people are stepping up and getting into this.
And it's a lot of hard work
Very
put
much.
into it.
Yeah, and lifestyle changes and everything else. So we will see. Okay, now as we head into toward things, one thing I found out in talking to Greg, and appreciate him checking on that, Russ, we're going to start the 30th year of high school football on cable television here in the city of Jackson this fall, 30th season. with E Plus TV6, and we're looking forward to that. But the Jamboree will be at Southside this year. That will include all the schools from the Jackson-Madison County school system, private schools, JCS, USJ, and TCA, and then Dyer County will be a part of that. So there'll be a great showcase for the schools, and we look forward to being at Southside. School comes back pretty early.
It does.
We're in June, and we're going to hit,
August
faculty will be
2nd.
back into July, and school starts August 2nd.
It does. It will be here quickly.
It gives a new compressed definition to summer break. Okay. Thank you for being with us.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it very much.
Enjoyed it.
Thank you for being with us. Our front row look at education in the Jackson-Madison County school system, and we invite you back with us every time right here at E Plus TV6.